Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another My Sims 4 wishlist video, where I talk about ideas that I'd like to see in the game and how I think they should be implemented. Don't worry, this one is not an April Fool's joke. I'm actually serious about this one. Though, I really wish I didn't have to make this video, but yeah, I think they really failed with the laptops in Strangerville. This might end up being a little bit more ranty in comparison to the other episodes that I've done, but I really just need to get this out there because I don't think this is acceptable. Funny enough, I actually did do an episode on laptops last year, as well as some new apps that I would like to see. So, in a way, you can also think of this as a follow-up to that now that we actually did get laptops in the game. And what we got was really the definition of bare minimum, because the difference between laptops and the desktops is that you can put the laptop in your inventory. The differences end there. There's none of the other functionality that you would expect with laptops, especially if you've had laptops in real life before. It's really falling short here. So, the Sims don't close the laptops once they're done using them, which I find a little weird because then it's just like, okay, the laptops, they stay open for the screens to collect dust. It's just very strange. With the laptops in The Sims 3, there was an annoyance of Sims closing the laptops and then opening them again when you just want them to do multiple tasks in a row, but I'd rather take that over Sims just never closing the laptops ever. And with the appearance of the laptops themselves, they almost look like bricks, like out of the early 2000s. Though I am guessing the reason they did that is because of the theme of Strangerville. I'm really hoping that in a possible university expansion pack, because I'm sure that's gonna come eventually, that we will then get more modern, up-to-date looking laptops, because if this is all we get without using custom content, then that's pretty disappointing in my opinion. And with the laptops, they just use the mouse like as if they were using a desktop. Like, yeah, you can do that in real life if you want to, but I don't think that's usually the case nowadays. I know for me personally, I never use a USB mouse anymore. I just use the trackpad, and I feel like it would make the laptops in-game feel more authentic if they did use a built-in trackpad. Another thing that the laptops in The Sims 4 are lacking is a battery. I don't believe The Sims 3's laptops had a battery life either, but this, I think, is still something that should have been included in both games. Like, it's a laptop. It doesn't have a battery that just runs forever. Eventually, you do need to charge it. And this is most obvious when the power goes out, because when the power goes out, the laptops have their power just completely cut off, like as if they were a normal desktop. And I just find that bizarre. I mean, granted, I didn't think of this either when I made my wishlist video on laptops, so I think this was an oversight on the developer's part because, well, power outages don't really happen that often in The Sims 4. You have to really just not pay the bills until the electricity is shut off, or you have to live in a crappy apartment with that unit box that is in city living. So yeah, it's not something that comes up too often, so that, I assume, is a bit of an oversight. Although I guess it is just also that laptops aren't the focus of Strangerville. But then again, the drones in Get Famous have a battery life, so why couldn't they do that for laptops? And one thing that I think would have been a really nice feature is to set ownership of laptops. And there actually is a mod by Little Miss Sam that allows you to do this, as well as for some other objects in the game, and I will link to that in the video description below as well, because I think that's very handy. And yeah, it's really cool. You can set ownership for just an individual sim, or you can set ownership for multiple sims at the same time. So if you want your whole family to be able to use a laptop and not guests who show up to your house, then you can do that. And I think that should be officially part of the game instead of needing a mod to do that. But here's what I'm most disappointed with the laptops. So the point of laptops is so you can use them anywhere you want to, right? Well, that's not the case with The Sims 4. There's a little bit more portability in comparison to a desktop. Like, you can still drag a laptop into your inventory just fine, but you have to be seated at a desk or a table in order to use them. No sitting on the floor with them, or on the bedside, or even just while standing up. And not only that, when you bring your laptops with you in public, you have to use them within the limits of the lot you're visiting. Like, you can't just, for example, use laptops at this picnic table that Neil was sitting at, just out in the public space. Nope, you can't do that. I had to have him actually go to the library, place the laptop on a desk there that was free, and then I could do that. And I was going to make this video even before I discovered that, but it was while I was recording footage for this video that I came across this, and I was just like, wow. Like, my eyes almost rolled out of my head. I couldn't believe it, because initially I thought this was a glitch, maybe caused by the mod that I just mentioned a minute ago, but I ripped out my entire mods folder and it didn't change anything. I still couldn't use the laptops in the public space. There's not even like a place in world option like there are for some other objects in the game, and this is just sad. Like, why? Why is it so limited like this? It is really bad, I think. Like, they need to update this, because now I guess we're gonna go into how I think these improvements should be implemented, and I think they should be given to us in a free update, because like I said earlier, I think we'll probably get more modern looking laptops with a university expansion pack, and that would make perfect sense to maybe in the update that would come out just before that expansion pack to update the functionality of both the laptops that would be included in the university pack as well as the ones in Strangerville, so that you can do all these things. Because what we have here, it feels like they should have just given these laptops to us for free, because it's like, this really does feel like something that a custom content creator could just do themselves. It's really, like I said at the beginning, like a bare minimum sort of effort. And I know this isn't like a technological focused pack exactly with Strangerville. Laptops weren't the main selling point, but still, just, my goodness, I think they could have done better. I would have rather waited longer for laptops to be in the game as badly as I wanted them, so that they could be more polished and have more functionality that you would expect out of laptops. But nope, in the end we got this, and I'm so disappointed. When Strangerville was first coming out, there was a lot of controversy and criticism surrounding the fact that they basically recycled a Willow Creek house for one of the pre-made lots in Strangerville, as well as the fact that there's a fruit bowl on the counter in the kitchen of the plane bunker that basically makes the kitchen non-functional for preparing food without you having to move it. Yeah, I understand why there was uproar about that, and I think that's what should have happened. But I think this issue with the laptops is far worse, and I think there should have been more outcry about this, because I can't believe I discovered this whole last point myself, that you can't just use laptops out in public anywhere you want. You have to be within the lot's limits. Just, oh my goodness. Though I will say, this doesn't make me hate the Strangerville game pack as a whole. I still actually really enjoyed my experience with it, at least so far. I still need to do the very end of the story, but otherwise, like, I generally like the pack, and I think it is really good that they did something a little different, because I was totally expecting witches to come next, but we got this instead. And I do like that they did something a little bit more story-based, because I think that is something that was lacking with The Sims 4 so far. But yeah, seriously, The laptops, I think, could use some serious improvements, and I don't think they even needed to be included with Strangerville. They could have been saved for a university pack or a free update or something else, but they really should have had more features. Well, Maxis, I'm sorry. You tried your best, but your best just wasn't good enough. Like, comment,